What's going on, everybody? This is Jack and Lockie from the Hardwood Rundown podcast. This is
Yes,
episode
sir.
12 of The Return. Today, we are doing a season preview of the New York Knicks and the LA
Yes.
Clippers, the
Yes, yes,
fourth
yes.
seed in their respective conferences. Um, let's go with Knicks. I think they were the most surprising team, I
That
guess,
was
last year.
like, wow. I still remember like just kind
Uh,
of the resurgence of like them coming out of nowhere. Like it was, I don't know, it was just very weird.
hmm,
Um, so yeah, like the rise of Julius Randle was like unbelievable, kind of caught me by surprise, but like I kind of knew that he was a really good player and that he was kind of expecting that jump to happen. When he was in New Orleans, he was very good with like paired with AD and then kind of got shipped around a little bit. Actually, no, he didn't. He went straight to New York. Fuck. He went straight to New
yeah,
York, I think. Yeah.
but his first year in New York was just like so abysmal.
Yeah, he was coming off the bench. He was a six man. Obviously, the coach not knowing how to use him properly. And then look, Tom Thibodeau comes in and changes the entire culture. Just like at a crazy, like just crazy how he just did it.
Mm.
Julius Randle flips the switch, turns into like a 20-point per game scorer, 8 rebounds, seven, like he just turned into a stat sheet stuffer, which coming out of college is what he was known to be.
Mm.
Um, so like being able to come to New York, the Mecca, like there's so much pressure in New York. No matter how good or bad you are, there's always like immense pressure.
Mm.
And to be Julius Randle, live up to it, and kind of just do your own thing, that was very good. So yeah, they came out of the blocks really well. Um, Julius Randle dominating on all levels. The mid-season trade for Derrick Rose, he rose to the occasion.
Mm.
No, but that trade changed their whole season.
Oh,
That was a season changing trade. Um,
yeah, he's
really
very
good trade.
impact, dude.
Oh, it was just impact, man. Like he was so good. Coming off the bench, kind of leading the young core off the bench, like especially Emmanuel Quickly, who was a massive bright spot. He has got one of the best floater games I've ever seen. Um, and yeah, look, a slow rookie year from Obi Toppin. But actually in the first round, he wasn't like terrible. He actually kind of was being productive. He had a 20-point game, I'm pretty sure. So I think he showed bright spots in his game, which kind of everyone was waiting for. Nerlens Noel, like talk about
Nerlens
underrated.
Noel.
Talk about underrated. Nerlens Noel, the man is now suing Rich Paul for millions of dollars for some reason. I honestly don't even know why. I think because like he's got screwed out of a contract deal or
Apparently,
something.
he didn't call teams, or he didn't call back teams who called him and
Right,
shit like that.
right,
I
okay,
don't know. He didn't know he had 84 mil, like just sitting
yeah,
there. So
okay, all right. Yeah. So crazy year from him. Like not stuff in the stat sheet, but being able to be the defensive anchor for the 4 seed when people were writing you off 2 years ago. Um, just shut up the haters. He was like, yeah, amazing front court fit next to Julius. RJ Barrett growing at a very consistent rate. And his jumper from his first year to the second end of the second year was much improved. So here are going to be my predictions. I've gone 45 plus. I think that's like a 45 plus wins. It's like there's 10 more games this year. I think that's a very like substantial amount. They could look if they had a miracle year, they could probably reach 50, 55 if Kemba really just is the dog that we all know he is. If he gets back to that, um, I'm really excited for their upcoming year. I think they've got all the pieces to like not contend, but make a deep playoff run, unlike last year. Well, actually, I always thought they were going to beat the Hawks. I always thought they were going to beat the Hawks. Um, and then kind of just collapsed. Julius Randle kind of disappeared. It was kind of an anticlimax because he had such a great year
yeah.
and then came into the first round of the playoffs and just stunk basically.
Mm.
Rising star, I've got Emmanuel Quickly. I think he'll learn a lot from like having Kemba and Derrick Rose as your two veteran point guards is
Yeah.
like fuck. It's like heavenly.
Mm.
It's like so good. So yeah, I think Emmanuel Quickly will benefit a lot from that. RJ Barrett, he's my most improved. Having like this sounds stupid. Having Evan Fournier there, a bona fide international superstar for his respective country,
Mm.
and still being able to basically drop 15 a game in an NBA on an NBA team. To have him in your corner as well as like all those veteran leaders, kind of teaching you the ways of the game still in his third year. I think he'll benefit a lot from that, and I think he can probably average like upwards of 22 a game, especially paired with all the front court and back court pieces that are going to be around him because he'll probably play the three. I would suspect Kemba and Evan Fournier would lead the backcourt probably, and Derek and Emmanuel quickly will still come off the bench.
Yeah.
Team MVP, Julius Randle, self-explanatory. So impact player, wasn't too sure because they've obviously brought in Kemba. Ooh, they've obviously brought in Kemba, but the impact of Derrick Rose last year, I don't know. Like it was either Kemba or Derrick because I think Derrick Rose is good for the bench and Kemba's good for the starters. So I think you can have both of them be your impact players, but I think it's more so Kemba because he's kind of like your star piece that you needed last year to really make a deep playoff run. He's never made a deep run in the playoffs. Well, he had a deep run. Oh,
with Celtics
in the bubble, they only made the second round, I think. So like he's not accustomed to deep playoff runs, but neither is his team. So like I'm expecting a second round exit for the Knicks if they make the playoffs. So I reckon it's a second round exit.
Yeah.
But you've got the foundational pieces that can help you in the years to come. And I think that's something really special, and that's the thing that not a lot of teams have. Like you obviously got so much high upside in like Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett, Nerlens Noel, who's like aging a little bit, but he's still like he's an elite rim protector. He's athletic. He can actually shoot free throws. So I mean, they've got some very good core pieces that they can kind of build now and then rely on in the future. That's what I take out of the Knicks. Sneaky star. I've gone Obi Toppin. I think it's like this. He had the rookie slump for a big chunk of the season. And I think this is his sophomore year where people will start to see what he's truly capable of. Also, this is like completely unrelated. This just popped into my head. The Cavs are like almost front runners for Ben Simmons.
You just saw that?
Yeah. What did I say?
I didn't even.
What did I say? Fuck. I hope so.
What would the quickly? What the trade?
No, there was no trade. Like there was no like mock.
What would the trade be?
Oh, it would be Sexton, Kevin Love, and like a few picks.
I don't really want Kevin Love, to be honest.
Yeah, but like I think we're just getting right off topic now.
Yeah. No.
No, but I think Kevin Love's still good. He's still a good, and I think he fits off he's a good bench piece. Anyways, sorry, your turn. Your turn. Your turn for the Knicks.
Bang. Knicks. I like. They're probably one of my favorite rosters in the league. They have such a good mix of like vets and young stars. And honestly, with the sneaky star impact player and the rising star and like most improved, I feel like so many guys could have gone in there. It could have filled those different spots. So like impact player, I've gone Nerlens Noel. Just defensively, he's that anchor. Can guard 1 through 5. I've always been such a big fan of him ever since his like Philly days. And you remember when they had Okafor, Noel, and Embiid? And then they chose to take the chance, or they chose to keep Okafor and then get rid of Noel, which I still to this day I don't understand why you would do that. Okafor is just a post player. That's all he is. Like Noel had like so much more upside. If you can see where the NBA is going, you can say, oh, Noel's gonna be a more serviceable player as time goes on.
But bro, Jahlil Okafor is the GOAT.
Fuck's sake, because you kept him at 6-man, lock him down for like 4 years, and look at the team they probably have now. Like so much better. Anyway,
definitely.
Sneaky star. This is a bit different, but I Mitch Robinson, not as like a star, obviously, but basically his production in like per minute and stuff like that. He goes out there. He's really good defender. Protects the rim, grabs boards. You can lob it up to him. I think he'll have like I mean, he's probably off the bench, but I don't know what they're going to do because Noel came into the lineup to start when Robinson got injured. So
Yeah.
wondering where they'll put him, but I think he'll have like a sneaky, like really good season. Um, and then I think another sneaky star would be like also like Obi Toppin. I think he'll have a sophomore like rise
Yeah,
compared to his rookie season.
for sure.
Team MVP Randall. I think RJ Barrett can get to that like 20, like 4-4 type of thing.
Yeah.
I think definitely this season. Yeah, so yeah, he's a really like interesting player because he's not crazy good at anything as a scorer, but he can really do everything. Like he can catch and shoot, he can create his own. He uses his body really well when he's slashing. Like he'll get a bit of room.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's interesting for that. Rising star, Manuel Quickly. That's a pretty.
Wow, that was a quick answer. All right, sorry. Oh.
I'm always quick. um, yeah, so I predict another like a really big year. I also say second round appearance, and I think that might even like get them more interest from a star going into next free agency, or at least put them in a place so they can trade some of those pieces and get someone else. I think Fournier will be better than people think. Like I wasn't a fan of it at the start, but I still think having a guy like him, just like a really skilled vet, on a team that is hungry to win. Like
Definitely.
Knicks were number one in terms of points allowed last year, opponent field goal percentage, and opponent 3-point percentage. They are ridiculously good defensively, and
Like
I didn't
crazy.
I didn't really think they were like that. But that's the thing. He adds some offense, and you lock down your core of like you bring Kemba in as well, more offense. Like
Yeah.
I go 48 wins to be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can go either way, but I just based off how they were last year defensively, and they're adding offensive pieces. They've locked down their core. Yeah, I reckon I say bold prediction. They can beat out the Sixers for a top 3 seed.
Oh, wow. Fuck.
I predict Sixers will have a decline this year based off the fact if Ben is traded. As much as people hate Ben Simmons, if he's not on there, they aren't a number 1 seed. You know?
Oh, they're not a number 1 seed if he's not there?
If he's not on the team, I don't think they're a number 1 seed, in my opinion.
I think it just depends on who you get in return. Like, I think, I feel bad for Ben because it's like, he affects the game in so many ways, and it's all because of his confidence. That's why that's why everyone's hating on him and why he's going to be out of Philly soon.
Yeah.
It's just his confidence has taken a massive hit because, like, he didn't go up for a dunk when they were down.
Oh my god,
he still affects the game in so many ways. He's he's the second best defender in the league. He's the best on-ball defender in the league.
It's like
second best over. Yeah, I know, but he's he's elite at 3 things: finishing, playmaking, and defending. Yeah. Shooting is not there. The only thing that people want him to do is shoot the fucking ball. They don't care if he makes it or not. That's the whole knock on him.
Yeah.
Any NBA player can shoot the ball. Any NBA player. It's just about if you want to take the shot. Like, fuck, if I was an NBA player, I'd be jacking up 10 threes a game. But, like, Ben Simmons needs that confidence. Like, he's already got his bag.
Yeah, we departed to another Ben Simmons rant.
Sorry.
But
that's what happens.
That's my bold prediction. I think they can beat out the Sixers for a top 3 seed. They need a big year, obviously. But I just look at they were the 4th seed last year with the team that they had, and they've improved upon that, adding Kemba, adding Fournier, and I think they'll have a big year. If anyone out of that top 3, they can beat out the Sixers for that. But yeah, that's bold. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, that's my Knicks, 48 wins. Go Clippers.
The Knicks. Wow, Clippers. They are very interesting.
Yeah.
And not like they didn't have a bad season like by any means at all. I think they were just inconsistent. And that mainly comes from Kawhi being out with load management and obviously missed a lot of games with that ACL injury. Like when they needed to make the deep playoff run, they needed Kawhi there to. They would have beaten Phoenix if they had Kawhi.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. And I actually think they might have beaten the Bucks, or it would have been more of a series if they played the Bucks. So PG was very I'm not saying he's very inconsistent, but he kind of I don't know when you need him to perform, he's inconsistent.
Yeah.
And he was inconsistent in the playoffs, but when it came to Utah in those later games, he really he grew into his own. But for a guy that's an elite scorer to not be able to make 2 free throws in clutch time, that's concerning.
It
And
was all so well as well.
that happened a lot of times in that Phoenix series and Utah. But nonetheless, I think he had poor showings at times against Phoenix. If he had a better series, I think they could have pushed 7. But I never saw them beating the Suns with no Kawhi. My predictions this year: 50+ wins, and this is all dependent on Kawhi being healthy.
Yeah.
PG if he has a great year or not. I do like the addition of Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
And I think he will help defensively. And I think he'll work well with players like Terrence Mann, who have kind of grown a lot, and Reggie Jackson. I think having a veteran backcourt in Bledsoe and Reggie Jackson will really help players like Terrence Mann and Justice Winslow, who is on the Clippers now too. And I think that's a really good bench fit, coming on and having Justice Winslow being able to freely run your offense. I think that's a really good signing for them. Rising star, I've gone Terrence Mann. He showed he is the man in the playoffs, and he kind of. I tried to slip some fucking puns in here and there.
Yeah.
And he really just kind of came out of nowhere. I did not expect Terrence Mann to be the man. But yeah, a few 30-point games, really affecting winnings. What game was it against Utah in that series? He literally, the whole reason Utah lost that game is because Terrence Mann was the center in a 5-out and was just bringing Rudy Gobert out of the paint, and it just opened up for everything. So he was an impact player in their playoff run, and he's my rising star for next year. Most improved, the guy that got the bag, the guy that redeemed himself, Reggie Jackson. I think he's going to improve again. I think he's the perfect fit for what the Clippers are trying to do. You've obviously got PG and Kawhi, who are both elite two-way players, and you literally all you need on a Clippers team with those 2 players is a scorer at the point, and they've got Reggie Jackson to do that. He had a great playoff run, a bit inconsistent at times, but that was always going to happen because the Clippers as a team were very inconsistent. I just think Reggie's going to be definitely the most improved in the Clippers next year. Team MVP, Kawhi, no question. And he's my impact player too, because when he's on the floor, he affects both sides of the ball, and he is the piece to win. He impacts every single aspect of the game. He's a winner. 2 Finals MVPs, 2 championships on 2 different teams. He's the guy that's going to take you to the finals. He's the guy that's going to win you a championship. I don't know if they'll do it this year. I don't know if the Clippers will ever do it, because it's just happened at a bad time. Obviously, just Kawhi's the piece that you need. But yes, it happened at a bad time because obviously the Nets are stacked, the Lakers are stacked, Utah's stacked, Phoenix is seems like half the fucking teams in the NBA have just got stacks and stacks of good NBA players. The Clippers are a bit unlucky, but I think they can make the Western Conference Finals again. And if they have Kawhi's the difference. If they make the Western Conference Finals, doesn't matter who they're versing. If they're versing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, that is a tough series. That is a tough series to pick.
That's the 7. It has to be.
Kawhi is LeBron's kryptonite. You saw that in 2014 in Miami, the kryptonite. But yeah, I think Kawhi's the missing piece. Sneaky star, Justice Winslow can come off the bench, no pressure at all. He can easily average 10, 3, and 6, 10, 3, and 5. He's a solid player. He's a solid piece. He's a winner. He's been up and down in his career, but I think a fresh start in LA with players like PG and Kawhi to really help you grow as a player. He's still young. He's 26 or something, 25. Still got a long ways to go. And I just think he's just a really good piece for them. And I think he's not going to affect the game in too many ways, but coming off the bench and being able to just kind of control the offense and make it your own, that's something that a young player always wants, and a player like Justice Winslow can flourish.
Mm. Oh yeah, is that 50 plus?
Yeah, yeah, 50
Yeah,
plus.
50 plus. Right.
I think that's a reasonable
Yeah,
target.
I say I don't know about the Clippers. That again, they're like unpredictable because
Mm,
yeah, you never know how consistent they're going to be. I say 48, but 50. You can't. I don't think you can go wrong with 50 wins.
yeah,
50 plus. I worry about the Clippers because I fear that last year might have been their best chance to actually win.
yeah,
Um, they if like they should have been the Suns have like Kawhi been healthy, and then say they face the Bucks in the finals, they have probably the best lineup to go against the Bucks in my opinion. Like you
yeah,
got two elite defenders who you can switch on to Giannis. Also got Marcus Morris as well. Um, like you've got, I mean, probably Drew would probably shut down Reggie Jackson. You know, we might see that, but I do feel like they have the best. They had the best team last year to go against the Bucks in the finals,
mm,
to actually challenge them. The Suns, all they were missing in that series was someone to defend Giannis, someone to stop him. He like 50 in the last game. So I fear the Sixers, the Clippers may have missed their window of opportunity, especially with all the teams that have gotten better in this postseason. Like Lakers have leveled up, Nets have leveled up. Like there's a lot of teams that might have surpassed them, but at the same time they've still improved immensely as well. Adding Justice Winslow, oh my god, who else did they add? I have a mind blank. They had Bledsoe. Yeah, so adding Winslow and Bledsoe, who are good defenders, can do a bit of everything at their position. I think Winslow's going to learn a lot from having a scorer, a more scorer like PG, who's more like I guess around 3 point um, line. I guess that's where he does most of his damage, and then Kawhi is more like a mid range threat. I think he'll learn a
yeah,
lot from those guys, and coming off the bench, he can have a big year.
yeah.
Sneaky star. I got Terrence Mann. I don't know if he's. I wonder what their lineup's going to be. I'd love for him if he could like start or something like that, but I don't know
Yeah.
how that would work. Like you could play Kawhi at the four, but again, you have Marcus Morris, so probably not. Um, but yeah, he's earned his minutes 100%, so he's set for a big year. Um, Impact player, I got Winslow, but I also the first one I had there was Nicholas Batum.
Yeah.
I think he's been a really solid all round forward. Him and Reggie Jackson have had like a good resurgence in their careers. Didn't really know where they were going, and no one really wanted Batum. But Batum's such a solid piece for the Clippers as a defender, as a shooter, as a playmaker. He can play that four spot. Like he's a really solid piece.
Mm.
Team MVP, Kawhi probably has to be.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi.
Sorry.
Rising star. I there's not much room for other young players to shine, so I go Terrence Mann again.
Yep.
Showing what he did in the playoffs is like the next step. Like if you're a rookie, you can put up numbers in the regular season. That's great, but it's just showing it in the playoffs against the best team at that time, like the best team in the league, the number one team,
Mm.
is incredible. So
Yeah,
major
for
props to
sure.
him. Yeah, the Bledsoe signing, the Bledsoe trade isn't as bad as people think.
No.
Um, I don't think he's gonna tweet out being "I don't want to be here." I think he's in a team where he would actually like to be,
Yep.
and he's obviously like he's not nowhere near LeBron, but he's always been called a mini LeBron as a slasher, um, as an athlete. Yeah.
The worst comparison. Worst
I mean,
comparison.
his time in Phoenix, he was a dog. Like he was
I know, but
not mini
ugh,
LeBron. Yeah.
can't disrespect them, man.
But yeah, Clippers are a really, really solid team overall. As as individual defenders, they are probably definitely in the top five.
Yeah.
I just hope for a healthy season for them. They always get clowned on, but if you have Kawhi on your team, you see what he did in the Raptors. Now that was like the perfect place for him to shine, but he still has a great place for him, a decent system for him to shine here. He just needs to stay healthy. Like
Yeah.
if he's healthy, they are in the finals. I believe
For sure.
that's what I think. PG's got to be consistent, but if Kawhi is doing his thing, there's no one. I don't think there's anyone who can really stop him, in my opinion. Just based off how he ran through teams in that 2019 year. So hoping for health for Kawhi and the rest of the Clippers. I see 48 to 50 wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, both these teams, I think they can make that jump into that top 3 seed. Based off off-season signings, based off the what ifs, whether Kawhi is healthy, whether certain players on the Knicks are healthy as well. Yeah, so I'm excited for both teams. I feel like I say that every episode, but off season is so exciting. I love it. It's probably more exciting than the season sometimes because you get so excited to see different teams come together.
Yeah.
But I'm keen.
Yeah. Two very, very exciting teams. I think the Knicks are going to take the NBA by storm. That's a big prediction. I kind of agree with Lockie. They can definitely be a top 3 seed. I just think there's so much camaraderie there, and there's so much. There's not a lot of adversity anymore. It's like they've made the playoffs. They came out of nowhere. I don't think there's much pressure as there was.
Yeah.
So I mean, two teams that are very exciting. Two teams that will improve off last year, and I'm very excited to see where that leads.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's episode 12.
12. Fuck, 3 episodes to go.
Of the return. We're going to film the next one after this, which is Bucks and Nuggets, I believe.
Yeah.
The 2-3 seeds. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let's go.
Boston Celtics 2K22 franchise coming in a week. I need to play my career. I need to play my career, and then I'm going to play my NBA.
Duty calls.
Yeah, duty calls. The boys call.
Hey, let's go.
All right. Let's go, baby. Thank you.